Apparently, having flopped spectacularly as president, Joe Biden is now trying to play the role of Trump on the China issue.
America's still working out compete as long as they have fair competition. But for too long, the Chinese government has poured state money into Chinese steel companies, pushing them to make so much steel as much as possible. They're not competing. They're cheating. They're cheating.
But this is purely performance art. The real truth is that Biden is a committed globalist whose spending an open border has devastated working people and only enriched China. Now, his Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, traveled to Beijing recently and threw out a few perfunctory lines warning China to behave, but the big picture is that despite China's COVID cover-up, the spy balloon, its aggression against Taiwan, the entire Biden administration is working overtime to try to smooth things over with him.
I underscored again that the United States does not seek to decouple from China. Our two economies are deeply integrated, and a wholesale separation would be disastrous for both of our economies.
Please love us, President Xi. And a new congressional report just out is revealing that under Biden, the Chinese have directly subsidized the manufacturing and export of illicit fentanyl materials. Yeah, no kidding. But wait a second. I thought Biden was going to get China to stop all that.
As a result of our recent diplomacy, China has already taken steps to shut down companies dealing in illicit trade of precursor chemicals. We're now, and we're not just going to trust that this is happening. We have to verify it, and that's going to save lives.
Fentanyl is a leading cause of death for Americans ages 18 to 45. But surely our new populist president, from Scranton no less, succeeded in pulling the manufacture of critical pharmaceuticals back from China, didn't he? Well, actually, China's still in the driver's seat in our prescription drug manufacturing as well. Joining me now, Gordon Chang, senior fellow at Gatestone, author of China's Going to War. Gordon, is it feasible or reasonable to conclude that China might have been given a heads up by Yellen or one of the top people here on that 15% steel tariff? And does it look like anything but, you know, an election year stunt at this point?
Oh, it's certainly an election year stunt. You know, Biden has been president since January 2021, and he has not done anything about tariffs until now, when he realizes he's in trouble in Michigan, and he knows that the labor rank and file is voting for Trump, so he decides to do something. Got to remember the contrast. As soon as Trump became president in 2017, he started the process to impose tariffs under Section 301 of the Trade Act of 1974, which he started to do in early 2018, as fast as possible. And I think that labor understands that there is only one guy in this election who really believes in tariffs, who really believes in protecting the American worker, who believes that American factories should have a fair shake. And by the way, that guy's name is not Biden.
Well, one thing we know is, contrary to China's protestations to the contrary, they have been taking us to the cleaners for decades. And this has been cheered on by the people who sucked up to Xi at that big corporate CEO trip to China earlier this month. So all of these big Fortune 500 CEOs went to China, big meeting with Xi, and many of them are also Biden donors. So it is no wonder that Biden's getting all this billionaire money, Gordon, which is fueling the campaign. Again, contrary to the fake populist Biden message.
Oh, clearly. And we can see where the globalists are going. And we can also see the trend of Chinese propaganda. In 2020, they supported Biden over Bernie Sanders in the Democratic primary. They supported Biden over Trump in the general. The same thing is happening now, Laura. So it's very clear where China is going to vote.
Yeah, and TikTok, of course, we forgot. Biden's campaigning on TikTok, China's, favorite social media platform. Gordon, always good to see you.